What's happening, guys, and thanks for tuning in to another video on the Life by Cars YouTube channel. Today we're again going to be continuing the topic that we've been covering on the last couple of videos, which is tuning your car. Now, if you haven't seen any of my other videos first time on the channel, this is my 2013 E92 BMW 335i. Since it is a 2013, it's the last year that you could have gotten an E92, and that means that it has, instead of the N54 engine, it has the N55. Biggest difference is N54 is a twin turbo engine. When they switched to the N55, it changed to a single twin scroll turbo. So that engine difference means that there's a couple different things. There's a couple differences depending on which engine you have in your 335i when it comes to tuning. In general, we'll talk about it a little bit more, but in general, the N54 will make more power than the N55 will with the same amount of mods. But what I want to cover today is, last week I showed you guys how I flashed my car, how I use the MHD software to put the tune on my car, and I told you guys that I run typically the MHD Stage 1 Plus off-the-shelf tune. So that tune works great for me. I really like the way it performs. It's great drivability every day. I don't have any issues with it. So I've been running it for probably almost 2 years at this point. So after all that time, I've really gotten used to kind of the power that it makes, and it feels normal to me at this point. But what I want to see today is how much of a difference did that Stage 1 Plus tune really make over the stock tune. So today we're going to test that out a little bit. I'm going to go find my way down to Mexico. We're going to find a stretch of road, and the plan is to do 2 separate polls, and I'm going to basically at the end try and overlay them on top of each other, and hopefully we'll be able to see a noticeable difference in how quickly the car accelerates, how fast it gets up to speed, and hopefully in the car I'll be able to feel the difference and be able to talk about it a little bit afterward. So let's hop in the car, find a good stretch of road, and we'll see what happens here. Now, I remember when I tuned the car in the first place, and I had been running it stock for probably almost a year, something like that, when I first bought it before I tuned it. And when I tuned it initially, I definitely remember feeling a noticeable difference between the Stage 1 Plus tune and the stock tune. So hopefully we can replicate that a little bit today. We're probably gonna, since I have the Stage 1 Plus tune on here already, we're probably gonna do that poll first, and then we'll switch it back to stock, and then we'll see what the difference is, see if it seems noticeably slower. In terms of mods on this car, I'm running all pretty much the typical supporting mods that you would need for a Stage 1 Plus tune. So I have an aftermarket upgraded charge pipe. I think that's that one's the Evolution Raceworks charge pipe. It works really well. And then I also have a 5-inch stepped intercooler, aftermarket intercooler, to get a little bit better cooling, a little bit lower IETs, because the stock one's pretty restrictive. So yeah, that's really all you need for the Stage 1 Plus tune. If you wanted to go Stage 2, then you have to talk about downpipe. I haven't gotten to that point yet, but probably gonna get there at some point. The one other somewhat engine-related mod is I do have a Dynon axle back exhaust, so I don't think that really makes a ton of difference, maybe slightly better flow through the exhaust pipes, but overall I don't know, I don't see that really changing things a whole lot. Really, that intercooler and the charge pipe is what you need for the Stage 1. Last thing I'll just say about the poll itself, what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it is I'm basically going to do the same poll that I would do if I was logging, and I probably am going to log it too, but the poll that you'll do to log to see how your tune is running. And basically what you have to do there is you start in 3rd gear, you drop the RPMs to about 2,000, which I think will be around 40 miles an hour, and then you just floor it. Let the boost spool up, let the car accelerate as fast as it can, shift into 4th, and that's when you lift off as soon as you get into 4th. So we're not really gonna be showing like the fastest acceleration the car can possibly do, but what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be able to see how quickly that boost spools up from a lower RPM to push through all that load and get the car moving faster. I think it'll be a good example of the difference between the 2 tunes. Well, I picked the wrong person to be behind here. Retired, go around me. Pretty funny. In the Prius too. Oh, it's brutal. 3, 2, 1. So yeah, guys, that was the Stage 1 Plus run that the poll that we just did there. So that went good. I shifted a little early, probably just shy of like 6,500 RPM. So I'll see if maybe I can try and do that same thing with the stock map. But really, I think it's going to be that whole 3rd gear where we'll see the difference and probably feel the difference as well. So right now I'm in the middle of flashing back to stock. The car is doing its thing right now. I have MHD running on my phone, so it is running through all of that stuff, and we should be good to go to run the stock tune and see what the difference is. All right, so we should be flashed back to stock, and let's say, hold on, no burbles. So yeah, I think it worked. Back on stock. Let's do another pull. 3, 2, 1. Oh yeah, that's way slower. So that was it, guys. I mean, I hope it came across well on the camera, but for me, at least personally, at least my butt dyno says that stock tune is significantly slower than the Stage 1 Plus. If you kind of watch those pulls, you hear me count it down, and then I mash the gas. It stays in third gear, it doesn't downshift or anything, so it's a low RPMs for third gear, but I mash the gas, and you hear kind of there's like a half second as the turbo spools up, and then as soon as that happens, for me at least with the Stage 1 Plus tune, the initial shove off of that turbo spooling was significantly stronger than what I felt on the shove with the stock tune. And just looking at the footage on the GoPro here, it's really hard to see. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna overlay them on top of each other right after this. But I just did like a quick stopwatch on my phone, try and see if I could maybe like figure it out. And I was trying to gauge between like 40 miles an hour and 80 miles an hour on the speedometer. And it basically seems to me that there's almost like a full second difference between the stock tune and the Stage 1 Plus tune if you time it out between that 40 and that 80 mile an hour mark. You guys can probably go back, rewind in the video, and do like a stopwatch on your phone. Again, it's hard for me to see on the back of the GoPro screen here because it's so small, but you can do that. And let's check out the overlay right now and see if you can notice a difference. Well, guys, hopefully that answers kind of some questions that you may have about the differences between a stock tune and an MHD off-the-shelf Stage 1 Plus tune. For me, it's a pretty significant difference. Again, I really like that 1 Plus tune, and I was actually looking at the log because I logged it through MHD, and I was graphing it out. And the boost difference is, I think it was a peak boost of around 15 PSI on the Stage 1 Plus, and then peak boost of, I think it was around 12 on the stock tune. So that's your difference there. You're getting more out of your turbo with the tune. And I was also noticing that in certain points of the Stage 1 Plus pull, because I logged it out, I was able to see that my boost target was actually, or my boost level was actually slightly below the boost target. So I don't know if that's like a really small boost leak or something's going on, boost solenoid, something like that. Something for me to dive into. It wasn't significant, but there's probably even more power that was left on the table there, that it wasn't making the full potential of that Stage 1 Plus tune. One other note is, again, this is an N55 E92, so this is the single turbo engine. Most E92 335i's are the N54. If you do the same Stage 1 Plus tune on an N54 engine with the supporting mods for it, you are going to see a significantly bigger jump off of stock than you would in this car. Both engines, both cars came from the factory with about 300 horsepower. That's what they're rated at. But because of the twin turbos on the N54 engines, you see a more significant jump up in power, in performance, as you go from Stage 1 to Stage 2 on your tunes, doing a custom tune, whatever it may be. Those engines are set up to make more power than the N55 can. One other note is if you have a F-Series N55, that's a electronic wastegate N55 engine, whereas these earlier ones that are found in the E-Series, the E92s, and some of the other cars, these ones have a pneumatic wastegate. So actually the F-Series, the later engines, the later N55s are able to make a bit more power than these pneumatic wastegate earlier N55s. So that's another thing to consider. If you have an F-Series with that N55, you'll also probably be able to make more power than what you're seeing here just off that Stage 1 Plus tune. But that's gonna be about it for now. I hope you guys found this interesting. It was really cool for me to be able to see and feel the difference. It's been a while since I was running that stock tune, so it was cool for me to see that. I hope you found it helpful as well. If you guys liked the video, please like and subscribe. I'm gonna be doing a whole bunch of stuff like this, more experiments, just playing with the car, having fun with it. So stay tuned for all of that, and we'll see you next time.